After 2.5 weeks of being out in the mountains, we finally got back on Friday. Today is Tuesday. What we did basically was we went southwards along the mountains and went to visit my friends further south. It's about a 400 kilometer run. We did a little bit of a different route than just following the southern Kingsleden on the way down, basically southwards. But on the way north, we more or less we kind of cut it a little shorter, but went a little bit more trails that we haven't done on the southern part. But still went basically straight south northbound, basically, without going too far east-west kind of. Yeah. So but still, we did about I think on the way back we did less, 350 or so kilometers. It's a little bit hard to say because the GPS kind of went out. I ran out of battery a little bit, but so it's about 760 or so kilometers, with about an elevation gain of something around 13,000 meters or something close to that. It was on the way down south. I could more or less accurately measure it. It was 6,500. So on a return trip, if you count it out, it should be around the same. So it's about 13,000, maybe a little bit less, a little bit more. It doesn't really matter, to be honest. But we encountered quite a lot of wind. We only had one night where we actually stayed up in the mountains, camping out, but the rest was a little bit more in the lowlands due to the fact that we had so much wind. Even now there's wind going and a little bit of fresh snow coming, as you can see, which is actually nice because on the way back it really looked like we're not gonna have that much time left. When we hit Handel, visited my friends, stayed a night over there on the last day. I stayed in a little cabin there. The dogs were camping out, and when we came down, on the lowest part of that part of the trail, basically, there was no snow left, There was all the swamps were just bare, and there was water everywhere and all, because there was such a long warm period that really affected the area very hard. Luckily, I just got a text from my friend. They also got snow, maybe even a little bit more than we got here now, but we still have snow up here. There it was barely anything, so it's good to see. However, the mountains still have plenty of... Hey! Akpik, Tika. Hey, hey. Iggy, Tutu. Hey, hey. Hey. Hey, guys. Yeah, they start to get a little bit anxious now. They want to get going again. So many days of off days, getting them a little bit more excited because the temperatures are a little bit lower now as well. I think I'm gonna do a run later tonight. It's gonna be a little bit heavier because the snow is fairly wet, so it's gonna be a little bit harder for them to go. But then, of course, this sled is not heavy as we had it now on the trip. So, however, it was a fun trip. It's really nice to visit some friends again, But the downside was not that much footage, unfortunately. You might have seen on the footage that I put out lately, I got a new camera, but I got a vintage lens on it and adapted it, and that adapter, actually, the lens adapter broke, so 2 bolts were fucked. And that caused the camera to be useless for pretty much the entire trip. I got a little bit of footage out, but a lot of it was useless, and so it's a little bit annoying, but now I think I figured it out, and hopefully it's gonna be better now. So yeah, so enjoy a little bit of the footage. I will put out quite a bit of stuff, and yeah, I'm gonna go out again. It depends a little bit on how the weather conditions will be, but the plan was actually, since the dogs were doing so well, I wanted to do a 200 kilometer run straight through. Just with the younger dogs, my 2 older ones would have stayed home for, the 2 days that it would take us. For the dogs, it's fine. They would have been pretty bummed out that they couldn't follow, but that would have been like a run through straight down, because it's good to test the dogs in that matter. To see how they react, how mentally equipped they are, because they're in really good shape now. Running essentially 50 to 70 kilometers per day on consecutive runs, that shows quite much like what they're actually made of. But to test them even further, it's kind of cool to see what they do when you do a 200 kilometer run, just to see, and if they would if you would see they're now really mentally equipped for that, then you just cut the run short, camp out, wait half a day, to let them recover, give them much more food, and then you just head back home in an easy fashion, So that would be a plan. But I also want to go out on another week tour or something, because since now Easter is over, we still should have about 3-4 weeks left, hopefully. And that would mean I could go out for another week or 1.5 or something like that. So looking forward to that. We'll see. So more to come before the spring is kind of over. I mean, now we didn't even hit spring. We actually had spring with lots of warm weather, so it's nice to actually get back to winter again. But regardless, in the summertime, it's much more work for me and much more rest for the dogs. I think over the season now we did about 2,600 kilometers so far, which is an okay level, but I had seasons with 3.5, so it's much less. This year again, last year I also did about 2,500 kilometers, due to the fact that the dogs were so young, some of them, my youngsters, my young males, but now they're 2.5 years old, so we can definitely do a little bit more. So I think we might hit around 3,000, which is actually a really good number to be at, not pushing them too hard. And then in the summertime, like I did this summer, gonna do much less in terms of overall, keep on running them. I just rest them a little bit more. It seems like they are much better off when the season actually starts, instead of continuously running them, because then they can rest a little bit more. I will have to do some construction work around my place here, and also do a lot of construction work-wise, so it's gonna be quite a lot of work. But yeah, so we will see. More to come. Stay tuned and have a good one. Get outside.